What are some additional key points about your frictionless process?
So usually what I like to do, I find that, some part of the frictionless process that I bring to my clients is giving a lot of communication, a lot of education. It's something I never had, as a buyer or a seller for that matter. Nobody really sat me down and talked about some of the expenses. And what I found is that by not talking to me, and instead of enjoying the process, especially when you're buying a place, you get excited, you want to, look at all these properties and pop in and out. It really, really made me feel like I added a lot of stress. So what I felt to do is what I like to do with my buyers is make sure that there is none of that friction, that it's nice and seamless. So I kind of present to them in a buyer's meeting, and we talk about all of the costs associated and when they're due. Because if you know that going into the process, it becomes so much smoother, and then you're able to budget for that. So then once you have that set aside, you have the finances put aside. So that includes things like, land transfer tax. When I think it was one of our first homes we purchased, I didn't know land transfer tax were due on closing. I didn't even know about what a land transfer tax was, for that matter. And now in the city of Toronto, we have double land transfer tax. So if you didn't know that going in, wow, that could be a big shock to the system. The second thing was knowing when the deposit's due. Now a deposit is, it's a good faith gesture to the seller, and it's usually about 5% of the actual purchase price of the home. But that's due within 24 hours. That has to be into the listing brokerage, and it has to be in liquid form. So when you give a check, it's not just a check. It has to be either like a bank draft, or it has to be a money order, or it has to be some sort of certified funds. So you can see if you didn't have the money in your bank account, or, for example, I know some people will have to borrow off their TFSAs or their RSPs, it could take like a week. And if you already put an offer in and it was accepted, if you don't get that deposit in liquid form, you could lose that home, just not knowing that deposit's due within 24 hours. So I want to make sure my buyers are prepared for that. We sit down, we talk, and then we talk before we even put in the offer. Okay, remember, tomorrow, if this deal goes through, we need that check. We need it for X amount of dollars. And that way we know beforehand, before we put an offer in, that they're guaranteed to get those funds in by the next day. And even on the sell side, what I found, sometimes I get some sellers that have had other realtors before that didn't explain all the things that they do for them, and there was no communication. So if you're a seller and you don't know what your realtor is doing in the back end, there's no communication, what's happening in the market, what people are thinking about the home, and it can add a lot of friction between the two, and it causes a lot of relationships to break down. At the end of the day, guys, real estate, being a realtor to your clients, is a relationship. And like all other relationships, if you don't have good communication, that relationship is going to break down. Well, thanks again for watching this episode. It's David Cinelli from Royal LePage. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. You can always call or text me 416-876-9998, or email me dcinelli@royallepage.ca. Until next episode, we'll see you soon.